Okay, hello. We're gonna pretend we're on the phone. I feel like that's as good of an intro we're gonna get here. I'm not recording in a microphone because I lost it. No idea where that is. Oh well. And you may have also noticed that now the latest season. The latest season is, I say it like we have so many. We have two. The second season, the one where I actually put a little bit of effort into it, that is now on YouTube. How insane is that? No video or anything. I even filmed one last time, whenever that was, probably a month or two ago. I just keep putting it out and putting it off. And I recorded a video and everything, but I recorded the whole thing out of focus. And I'm like, oh well, I'm throwing it away then. And since that one wasn't actually recorded, I don't feel like recording any of them filming any of them, because that's so much extra work. And I'm not like Trisha Paytas or anything. I'm not like special. That sounds self-degrading, but you know what I mean. No one would care to see my face. Not that I'm ugly. I am a very attractive person. I mean, like, no one wants to see. I feel like I'm over-explaining myself. I think we knew what we meant in the beginning. So, I do not have a microphone. I'm still in my bed. My bed just squeaks every 5 fucking seconds. I do not have a microphone. And I am upset about it because, I don't know, I just feel so much more professional. And I did hear the last podcast. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I heard literally 5 seconds of it, and I'm like, oh, it's muffled. So, sorry about that too. Hopefully this sounds somewhat okay. Maybe I should put a sock over it and talk to this as if it's a clothed microphone. Would that be smart? Am I a genius? Should I put a sock over my phone? These are the type of questions we're going to be asking ourselves in this episode. What I wanted to do was to talk about love. But I was like, girl, isn't that what the last episode was about? Like, I don't literally remember, but I have a vague idea. I was like, I was probably talking about a guy I liked because I had just went on a date, which, to bring you guys up to speed, he'd never considered that a date. He did. When I was saying it was the best date ever. And now I'm saying he did not consider that a date. He didn't consider any of the times we hung out as dates. He said, does he think I'm pretty and hot? Sure. But since I don't want anything casual, then why ruin a good time? Okay. And I will talk about that in a later episode. It's fine, honestly. I think that was just his way. And guys just don't know how to talk good. And as simple as that. But I think that was his way of saying, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I'm not going to date you. When you say it like that, my feelings are hurt. But, that's kind of what I hear. I don't want to date you, but I'm okay with being friends. Yeah. Because he still follows me and everything. He likes a lot of my Instagram stories. Anyways, sidetracking. Actually, 1 second. Let me see. I think it keeps recording. Let's see. I'm sorry if you hear me tapping against the thing. Let's see if he's, oh my gosh, is she bleaching her hair? Sorry, I'm on Instagram. I'm trying to see if he's watched any other stories of mine. Like a psychopath. Yeah. He liked an Instagram story this morning. Oh, want to know what the comment says on my Instagram story? This typo. This is probably the most clothes y'all seen me in a while. I guess I meant in a while, Too many ins. I understand why I didn't put it up. And he liked it. So what does that mean? No, let's overanalyze this. No, one of my best friends also liked it. People just like my Instagram stories because I'm a very popular person. Wait, someone else actually liked, what was this? Oh, I reposted something. Oh, yeah, because I'm depressed about getting a degree. Let's change subjects. Oh, no, actually, no, let's keep that subject. That's the subject of this fucking video. Recording. My apologies. So, in this recording, I felt like I was talking so low in my throat, and it just sounded like, it's like the rash in a throat, and it wasn't killing it. So, let me time myself. I have 1 second. We're loading. Okay, we're hitting a tab. I have about 20 to 28 minutes until my food is here. So that's as long as I'm going to talk. So it's a short episode. Today we're going to talk about fucking the meaning of life. Not fucking, comma, and the meaning of life. Well, today we're talking about the fucking meaning of life. There we go. Now, if anyone asks you this question, they'll probably say like one thing. 3, the number 3 or whatever from that Iron Giant movie. And I think 3 is a symbol for something else that pretty much means death. What's the reason of life? Death. No, that's incorrect. That's the effect of life. That's, step 2 in this whole scheme of things. But the meaning of life is not death. What a lazy answer. Stupid. Okay. What's the meaning of life, you may ask me? I've figured it out. It's to live. And you may think, Sayla, that's also another, cheat out. No, it's not. Want to know why? Because if you believe in a God or the spirituality or nothing, you'd add, like, the question literally is like, well, what else do we do here? No matter what does every single person do when they're giving life? Anyways, and when they're given life, by the way, you guys may be like, well, everyone dies. But that's not what he said. He said the meaning of life is death, not to die. What do you do to die? You live. So when I say the meaning of fucking life is to live, I want to hear an applause because I've cracked the code. Now, let me know the meaning of life. Of course, we want to do that in a positive way. Oh, it's to live. Well, I really would rather live happily. I'd like to live contentedly. Yeah, if you're smart, you're not going to try to reach happiness. You're going to want to reach contentness because happiness is a feeling and contentness is a way of being. So, of course, I want to live to be content because if I'm content, I'm okay with having a sad day. Can I tell you guys now? Let's continue on to what this has to do with me. Oh, wow, that's so beautiful to hear. Anyways, I am so miserable. I have depression. I'm not diagnosing myself. Well, I guess I just did. You guys can't see, but I'm doing a heel flip. Not to diagnose myself. But I think there's 2 different ways. Like, of course, you can feel depressed, and now depressed is a feeling, right? Like sadness, happiness, feeling depressed. I truly do believe I do not feel depressed. I believe I have depression. Now, will I ever get that actually diagnosed? No, because I don't want to go to the doctor. I'm African American. That's a good joke. Okay? You have to look at the codes. You have to look at the nuances. And you look at the irony of me using that as an excuse. While I also tell you my people in my family have been to therapy. And my parents are all right with it. So now what's my true excuse? That, and people don't need to know my business. Like, I say as I'm speaking on here, it's because, okay, we're going to do this real quick. Let's just fully side panel this, right? Why do I not want to go to therapy? I'm saying that in a therapeutic accent. Yeah. This is why. Because I'll sit there and I'll say, anyways, this is how my day has been. This is how my life has been. These are my thoughts right now, yada, yada, yada. And I can tell you, after that, she'll say, well, you got to do this, and you have to do this, and you da-da-da-da, and you need to think like this. Duh. Give me some drugs. I don't know. I'd rather just be given drugs, but even then, that scares me. Like, that's I don't want to have to do drugs. Unless if it's weed. Okay. I don't know. Like, no, like, I don't be popping pills to be happy. Because then I'm going to be thinking, what am I without this? What am I without this? You're sad. No, you're not sad. You're depressed. So no interest in pills. And then the talking thing, it's like, okay, yeah, you can tell me a 3-step plan. And I'm telling you why when I get to the end of it, I will still feel this way because my mind is complex enough to understand that, yes, I know that the world is not against me, but the world's not for me either. And the mere fact that brings me to my knees. Like, wait a second. Was that more narcissism than depression speaking? I don't know. But you hear what I'm saying? Like, I get it, and I know what to do to fix it. And when I fix it at the other end of the side, the location, the state of my life hasn't changed. And that's real. I want to talk. That was what I really wanted to talk about today. When I say life living, specifically my life, and not specifically my life. I think people's life in general, and why people are depressed, and why, yada, yada, yada. We can start with like society. We can be like, because of where the state of the world is right now. We can talk about the lack of community. This is all specific to Western culture, American culture. People would call ourselves first world country. Culture. It's because of all of that stuff, and it's because the way we're built, our society is on capitalism, and capitalism means that someone has to be at the top, but to do that, someone else has to be at the bottom, and it's all through a figure, an imaginary yet tangible thing. But besides that, like, obviously, since we're already so, hundreds of years into it, I wore a necklace. This makes sense. I wore a necklace not the other day, but I wore it a lot. I have a necklace and it says, kill the patriarchy, curse the patriarchy, something like that. The patriarchy. And hex, that's what it was, hex the patriarchy. And someone was reading my necklace. I walk at a store, and at a drugstore, and someone was like, oh my goodness. And he didn't say oh my goodness, he was like, what does your necklace say? That's what he said exactly. And I said, oh, it was hex the patriarchy. And he's like, good luck. Well, it's been here for hundreds and hundreds of years, so good luck with that. I'm like, okay. What an asshole. But like, it's just a necklace, dude, that I bought from a store that resells necklaces they buy on AliExpress and Amazon, like, which is part of the capitalism, so they can beat the man. What has the man built on? Patriarch. Everything goes back in there. No, actually, I think everything goes into capitalism. But what was I getting to? Oh, yeah. Understanding that society is bad does not help us from stopping, from preventing it. It is, like, the guy had a point, which, like, obviously the necklace is just a necklace, but also, like, America's going to be the way it is for a long time. You want to change a system, a bunch of people got to die. And we've got to start over. That's how every civilization has started ever, unless if this was the first one that lived there, and for that we don't have any written history from that time. So, like, let's be a little realistic with ourselves. Anyways, I'm running out of time. Life. So we understand the root of all of our problems. Everyone does, not all of it, but we've got a big gist and why life is the way it is. And what is that? And how does that relate to me and how I'm feeling? Everything I feel is, it's okay, it'll be better tomorrow. What song just came to mind? The sun will come up tomorrow. Something, something else tomorrow. Da da da. And now, to quote another famous movie, there is no tomorrow. Earbud warning, but there isn't. And so that's how I feel right now. I'm in my last year of college. And everyone feels like this, or like it's your last year of this, or it's the year before you get married, or all that stuff, right? You're at a hard point of your life. And everyone tells you, well, when you're out of this hard point, it'll get good. Oh my God. I needed to get good yesterday, ma'am. I needed to be good now. And pause. What if when I get to the end of it, it doesn't get good? And so now the whole reason I'm trying hard and the whole reason I'm living is because I'm thinking at the end of it, it's gonna get good. And if it doesn't get good, what do I do now? Do I keep waiting? or do I fold into myself? Because for plenty of people, and I know this must be a feeling a lot of people's mind, for plenty of people, it don't get good. This is the life. And some people, that's why, they kill themselves. And they're like, well, I'm just going to end it now because I don't think it's ever getting good. And some people live on forever and ever and ever. And like, have you seen a homeless elderly person? It didn't get good. That's what I think. And it's so tragic. It's so, so tragic. And I think, not saying I'm going to be I'm going to be in the streets when I'm old, but like, that doesn't mean I'll be happy. Like, I think of like the grandma from fucking Sopranos, Olivia. Oh my God, it doesn't get good. And then what do I do? Like right now, I'm saying, well, after I graduate, I'll get a job that I like. Will I? Or this is the one I really like. You'll fall in love eventually. I know I wasn't going to talk about love, but I think, that still makes a point. You'll fall in love eventually. Oh my God. And of course you'll be like, no, like, I think I'll die alone, right? And we know, like, this is self-hate. And we can also say, like, no, I'm not. I'm trying to come at peace with that. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, coming at peace that you think you're going to die alone. I don't mean die alone like, obviously, you probably won't die the same day as your significant other. I mean die alone as in you've never made it to that true love. And I think, what if that happens? What if that's me? What makes me so special that I deserve someone to love me? And same thing with the job. I'm like, what makes me so special that I'm going to have a job that I like? So many people live miserable jobs. Why wouldn't I be one of those sad fucks? There's nothing saying I would be special. And sometimes I think about like my class and I'm like, nothing I'm writing in here is any better than everyone else's. In fact, most of the people in this room are probably better than me. And I can complain and say, well, that's because they don't have to work a job. They're not working 40 hours a week, so they can just focus on this. Okay, fine. Say that's it. Now for everyone who does have a job and also do work, and they're also better than you, now what's your excuse? It's like, maybe the fact is that you're just not that good. And you thought you were good, and you had this cute little hobby, and now you've spent 4 years and thousands of dollars on something that's never going to fucking lead anywhere, because look at this room of students, and just know that outside of this small room of students, there's hundreds of people out there who are older than you, better than you, and they're still nobodies. Oh my God, how many TV shows are out there right now? How many popular TV shows? How about that? Count them. 100 by 1,000. That's going on right now. Let's say 500, right? I'm really rounding up here because I'm taking Home Network, news, everything. 500, easy. That's not a lot of the scheme of things of everyone who says, I've got a great story. Oh my God, 500. By the way, a bunch of them are by the same people. So that scales it down even less. Same thing with the love. I don't know, like, what if you're just not in the right spot? What if your true love, not saying there's only one true love. That's so stupid. Let me actually change this. What if you do meet the person, like, it just doesn't click at any point? What if you're just, like, what if? Maybe you even meet plenty of people who would be great for you, but it just doesn't happen. Because, things happen, life happens. They decide to go somewhere else, or you ruin it, or they ruin it, and you just never settle down. All these things can happen. There's really nothing out there that makes me think that I'm special enough to actually have a happy ending. And so then I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to happen. Get used to that. I don't know. I'm. This is not me being like pessimistic. I'm being a realist. I'm thinking, I think this is like the most common thing. I'm like, I just don't think I'm a significant enough person. So I'm like, oh, well, most people are miserable. So I think I'll just be one of those other miserable fucks. And so, because I'll be a miserable fuck, I'm like, okay, well, you can't kill yourself. Well, I guess I can, but I won't kill myself. Now, sorry, I had to swallow because I was like ill. I feel like it was coming out in the recording too. Now, you've got to find a way to just live. And what is the point? I mean, now, I had a setup. Let me start over. Let's backtrack. Now, you've got to find another, you've got to understand the meaning of life, and that is to live. And what's the best way to live? To be content. Okay, see how we circled around before I tripped over my own tongue? And I'm trying to be like, well, you have to be grateful on the little things. You have to be grateful that you're alive. You have to be grateful for having a blue sky, for having all your teeth, for having all your fingers. Like the small things that everyone doesn't have, because everyone really doesn't have it. Be happy that you live in, this country. Be happy that you have this family. Be, things that everyone takes for granted. Be happy that you have a nose that lets you take deep breaths in. All that stuff. I'm so happy about that. I'm so grateful for that. That makes me content. Even the small things, because I'm living and I'm alive and amen, amazing, great. And I'll go through an entire day like that. Nothing bad will happen and life will be fine. And I'll come home and I'll be like, okay. And now you have to just do that every single day until you're dead. And suddenly I'm not content anymore. Suddenly I'm miserable again. And I'm just like, man, I really wish I just was never born, because this is so much extra responsibility and I do not remember signing up for it. And I had a meeting with my teacher today about a script that I just can't seem to write good at all. And it's like, oh my God, every time I think I did something good, I'm told, actually, no, it sucks. You didn't notice that part? You didn't notice the sucky part? Yeah, I see it now, and now I understand why. Like, she's like, well, what do you want to do, like, after this? And she's not being mean. She's just says it how it is. She's like, well, what do you want to do after this? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I can't sit here and tell you, oh, well, I want to write movies and TV shows. Because clearly I don't show that quality. So, like, let me try to come up with a more realistic dream. And there was nothing. There's nothing. I'm like, this is the only dream I've dreamed for so long. And now I'm just like, I don't think it's going to happen. Where is my fucking food? How long have I been talking? Okay, 20 minutes. I guess she does have 7 more minutes. Let me check. Okay, she's close. Well, she's close. And so now I'm thinking, like, I don't want to make you form. Like, I'm thinking, like, okay, so that's obviously not going to happen. You're not good enough. What was the second plan? Oh, I don't like, I'm like this. And I'm like, oh my God, I just wish I wasn't even here then. Because I don't think I'm going to fall in love. And I don't think I'm going to have a great job. And I think, yeah, I'll have friends and I'll have people that I care about and stuff. But, like, the whole time I'll just know that, like, I wanted so much more than this. And it's never going to happen. And I'm like, bro, how am I going to live like that? And I try to be content. I do. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen. Because I've lived in this fantasy world for so long. And I'm finally being awakened. And I'm like, oh my God. Why didn't everyone just tell me to make a different plan when I was younger? I would not have wouldn't have thought I'd make it this far. And then I'd be fine. If you guys just told me, if you just gave me a plan at younger and saying, hey, just be happy at working a retail shop. And that's it. And if you told me at 5 to be happy about that, I'd be fine. Because I'm like working my job. I'm like, if I work here every day for the rest of my life, okay. But I can't be in love with anyone either. So I'm like, obviously I probably won't work here for the rest of my life. Right? And I'm sure I'll date people on and off. But I'm like, maybe, if anyone ever wants to date me again, Jesus fucking Christ. But I'm like, it just seems like such a cycle of just going on dates, going to walk, going out with friends, going home. That's it. That's the life. That's living, guys. And I see all these other celebrities, right? And you see people at the very top. Like, I was watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Not Keeping Up, the Kardashians, right? Because I do still keep up with the Kardashians. And I am ashamed about it. But anyway, so in the latest episode, episode 1, season 3 of the Kardashians, episode 1, it just came out like today or yesterday. Khloe is saying how every year of her 20s is miserable. And she's saying that while she's in Cancun or something. She's like by a beach in a mansion. And I'm like, oh my God. So I guess this is just how everyone feels. Everyone is so miserable at the very fucking top. And you're just like, well, if Khloe Kardashian, if these multi-millionaires cannot be fucking happy, then what is going to leave me? And I think that's how everyone feels. Because everyone, maybe not everyone, I'm sure there are content people out there. Some of us are just stuck being miserable. Like Khloe Kardashian, she's never gonna be happy. If she can't be happy now, she's never gonna be happy. Poor thing. I do feel bad for the Kardashians because I feel like Kourtney understands that. And she's like, I'm happy now. Why would I want to be dragging myself back to you? A normal person's life is boring, and that is what makes it comfortable. Honestly, like, you guys talk about fighting your family all the time. Like, that cannot be healthy. I understand arguing with your family. I can't remember the time two aunts are hitting each other. Wait, is that my food? I heard a beep. Oh, that was the microwave. I thought it was a beep from outside. Anyways, it seems because so many people, like even Paris Hilton said, well, I think I'll be happy at a billionaire. And she's a millionaire right now. And I think Kim said, I'll be happy with, some bizarre number. Like, people say this, the top of the top say this. And obviously Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and the, scary white looking guy, I'm sure they were all saying, well, I'll stop cutting down rainforests I'll stop doing this as soon as I get to space, or the Mars, or to touch the sun. And then, whatever the little freak says, I'll stop doing this until I understand human emotion. Well, Facebook says that shit, right? I'm sorry, am I making fun of... I realize anytime we make fun of him for not understanding people, are we also just making fun of autistic people? Is that the joke? He doesn't understand people. Yeah, he's got autism. Should we make a different joke? Goodness gracious, I had to catch myself on that. He looks weird, that's my joke. Haha, he looks weird, he's pasty and he's white. Sorry to all the gingers I've made fun of. Like, if they can't find a reason to stop, if they're not content, imagine Jeff Bezos being like, I can't understand people saying to Jeff Bezos, if you give all this money, like, give us some of the money, you'll still be rich, but you'll also save millions of lives. I can't imagine being that type of person and then say no, because the only reason I'd say no is because I want more. Can you imagine being one of the richest people alive and wanting more? Oh my God. And so if he cannot be happy or content, what am I gonna do? And that's why I want to go back to capitalism, the society. This isn't my fault. These are the fucking slave owners' fault. It's their fault. Fuck you, George Washington. Fuck you, Thomas Jefferson. Fuck you. I can only think of two right now. Founding fathers, anybody that's got the face on Mount Rushmore, you can have a big dick shoved up your mouth, your nostril. Let's make it violent. I don't think they didn't invent capitalism, but they did bring it to the. I don't know if any of the indigenous tribes based on capitalism. This is a question I want to be answered. If not, fuck you, founding fathers. How long have I been talking? Was that a good ending? I think I started from the beginning saying, I promise I'm not just going to say this is about society. And then I ended saying, anyways, I put all my blames on society. Wouldn't this be a lovely video to be able to play in the background while, like, years later, and I'm actually happy, and we, go back to then, and we're just like, oh, she was sad for so long. But look at her now. She's content. I'd love that to happen. Hopefully that does. Hopefully this can be considered a timestamp that I can look at 10 years from now back and be like, look at me, younger me. You're happy now. I almost don't want to say it. I hope I didn't jinx myself. Anyways, we've got, how far is she? Okay, let's do this fast. We've got Instagram, Selah Marie Baby. I'm sure you can find out how to spell it. Selah, Selah, Marie, Marie, Baby, Babi. I know, threw you in the loop. TikTok is Lala the Guru 931431 some